Now, the rest of the story.
Welcome back to the rest of the story. So, I had this guy, which you see there's no camera in it. I had, well, they are in the 76 now, which is no longer here. I had 2 other camera mounts with my GoPros, for my GoPros. I misplaced my GoPros, so I don't know where they're at. I thought they were in my truck, but now about the only place they could really be is at home somewhere. Maybe the kid got them. If Relina got them, that's not good, because she's got, well, you know, like how prisoners are, where they got hours and hours and hours to sit and think of new places to hide stuff. See, toddlers don't need that. They can find places that are essentially impossible to find with, you know, a moment's notice. And I'm waiting. So it's Saturday, it's the weekend, and we're moving beans, which is good. We did have head issues with the combine, which ultimately resulted in being a bad ground. That was all corroded and gross, rusted. So at least that is fixed. And the problem is, to go back to my original statement of the 7600 isn't here. I got the 4640 is loaded full of beans waiting on the truck, and the reason the 82 and the Easy Trail wagon is sitting in the field loaded full of beans, even when it really shouldn't be at this point, because the 76 is nowhere to be seen. The gearbox that runs the unloading auger on the 76, or on the 76's grain cart, that green Easy Trail or Easy Flow, one of which went out earlier. So this is where we sit. I went home, took the 76 down, brought the 82 back, and at least ran out another 500 or so bushels of beans, largely just to keep things moving. I mean, we're up here at the Haunted House Farm, and Dad, if you can see down through the trees, is still running. Ryan was still sitting in line at the elevator. Oops. A little while ago. I mean, that's amazing what happens on the weekends versus during the week. He was able to go through, literally just drive through the elevator Monday through Friday when we were hauling down. But the second we hit Saturday, and he says it's just been nothing but lines. Now, if we had on-farm storage, it'd be great, but we don't. But don't worry, on-farm storage, more bins is definitely on my list of things we need around here. I mean, it would probably speed up harvest a little bit, of course. But today is actually the first day we're cutting beans that we had to wait until 12 o'clock to get started. We had what I would say, what all farmers would say, our killing frost last night. As in 24 degrees out, looked out, and all the grass in the house yard that was holding out pretty well to the 30-degree nights was all wilted over and pretty well finished. So that means any of this corn of the neighbors here you're seeing that has any of that greenness to it yet, yeah, it's over. She's done. I'll be honest with you, I'm good with it. I mean, I prefer summer. I like nice weather. I like warm weather. And seeing all the leaves this area really has right now, as far as the fall colors, really does look nice. But a killing frost is good for us versus like last year, where it was almost November before we had much of any kind of killing frost, and everything was still growing, which putting cows out in the pasture it's really nice for, but it's making sure that it's going to get some of those crops, the corn, when I say the crops for us, to dry out. I checked the stuff at home, 24%. It'll be late next week at best, and that's looking kind of shaky right now, to be honest with you. Before we start corn, it might be the week after next. So this video should hopefully be up tomorrow, so Sunday. So another 7+ days before we get to where we get serious about starting corn. And ideally we are going to have beans done before we get done with corn, because everything around home is done, and all of this stuff will hopefully be out of here in the next day or two. I mean, really it just comes down to logistics and getting it moved. The elevator's been open throughout the weekend, but it seems like everybody has decided to move. But I'm going to end this video really quick. I was asked to discuss basis. Basis, when I refer to that in any conversations, there's a disconnect from futures price, which is like the Chicago board price, and then there's your basis price. So your basis is the price that your delivery or your elevator, the place that you're shipping and unloading your grain to, that they are paying above or below the futures price for your grain. Now you hear in the drier parts of the area, western Iowa, out in that area, Nebraska, Kansas, you're hearing basis of +2, which, okay, futures price for corn is $6.80. So $6.80, if you're able to lock in a +2 basis, it's $6.80 plus $2, and that looks pretty lucrative, actually, doesn't it? For us, for soybeans, the Mississippi River is going dry. Quite literally, I just read an article that there's 2 sections of the Mississippi River where they essentially stopped all barge traffic. All of our grain, for the most part, I'd say 90% plus of our grain, all of our soybeans, goes down the river. It goes down on barges, and typically a river basis price for us is minus 30 to 40 cents. Typically. For this year, I haven't seen anything for this fall. Maybe I should have locked in basis earlier, but I haven't seen anything lower than $1. I locked all of mine in for $1. I saw it, I think it got up to $1.90 so minus. So when I say minus, that means $15 beans minus $1.90, minus your trucking, minus any drying charges or anything they want to dock you for. So that's why when farmers talk about basis, that's a really good indicator about any particular area's current grain situation, because out in Iowa it's plus like $2 for corn. Locally it is minus 70 cents for corn for October. For November it's minus 40. That really hasn't moved all summer. So I think a lot of people currently, it's far enough out that they're kind of banking on some of this backlog, some of harvest is going to get kind of panned out, where there isn't going to be much harvest pressure. That's why you're seeing the 30 cents difference between October and November. But I've also been kind of hinted at November could actually start creeping up or down. I don't know what's the best way to say it. Where it's currently 40 under for corn for delivery in November, and I've been told that it could start going the other way, where it could start ratcheting down to 70 under or potentially worse. So it's just one of the many variables that us farmers have to deal with and manage throughout the year. It's not just locking in a futures price or a basis price, or you could just do a cash price where you say, hey, Mr. Elevator person, I want $15 beans. $15 cash for my beans. So that means, there's our old truck driver. I want $15, so that means including their basis with whatever futures price gets to, you want whatever the cash price is, the price that they will currently pay for your grain. So futures at current prices, futures would have to be what, $16.90 to get $15 cash. Now don't get me wrong, back in the summer you could get $15 cash, but when prices are typically really good, or basis is low or prices are high, that usually leaves you as a farmer. It's usually the point of the year where you're the most anxious or uncertain of yourself or of your crop, that you should lock in anything. So when the prices were at their utmost awesome this year, myself, I was concerned about potential yield, what the crops could do, what the weather could do, and I wasn't as confident in myself or as confident in my crop to go ahead and lock in 250 bushels to the acre. You could do it, but it takes a pretty massive set between your legs to want to risk that, because you can get yourself in a bit of trouble too, locking in, committing more grain than what you are able to produce. So you always try to factor low, hope for high, and make sure that you're aware of what your insurance coverage is. So for me, this is hands down probably the best year I've ever had as far as marketing, but I didn't lock in my basis. So then the basis, knocked on the door and said, hey, guess what? You're doing good. You did better than you have in the past, but you're also going to get charged a little bit more than what you typically have in the past. So it's give and take. So I hope that cleared up basis a little bit. I know I'm not extremely good at teaching, but I've learned a lot of my farming life lessons through the school of hard knocks. So and splitting my basis and my futures prices has typically, since I started doing it, been the better route. And sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but as long as why I'm always on my phone all the time as a modern day farmer, watching markets and watching the grain price fluctuations and what basis is doing. And the best thing you can do when it comes to marketing anything is don't go for home runs. That never works. And just be happy with singles and doubles. I'm not a baseball person by any means. This is what somebody else has said to me. And if you keep aiming for home runs, you'll strike out every time. And more or less, it's knowing what prices you would be happy with, even if the price goes higher. For me, I had a price set in, I'm not going to tell you, in my head that if it went to $8, $9, $10, I could live with it. And that mindset is what got me where I am today on my marketing. Is that going to work for me next year? I don't know. Every year is different. But with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. I really meant to I might have a GoPro video I could throw up yet that I've taken here in the last couple days, but harvest is moving along. Beans, we got 120 acres to go of soybeans. Combine's working great. 30-foot swath is a heck of a jump from a 20-foot swath, and we're also going 3.5 miles an hour over 2 from before. So comparing it to last year, or comparing it to our previous machine, we would be, we'd probably be 2 farms back from where we currently are today, and have no chance, which the way things are looking, it ain't going to happen now. They were calling for rain, Wednesday? I don't know if they still are, but the goal was to be done by Tuesday, and I think that's open for a little too much. Once again, I'm going to end the video. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Take care. Take it easy. Keep in touch. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more videos from the rest of the story.